Hi, everyone. Welcome to the It's All for Love podcast. I'm Cheryl Mazza, the healing dancer, your host. This podcast is all about Michael Jackson and how he continues to spread love in our world and inspires us to live our best lives. Thank you so much for watching and or listening to this episode. But before we get to the episode, I have a few things that I want to tell you. If you are watching this podcast on YouTube, please make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel and also like the video of the episode that you are watching. And I would also love it if you would leave us some comments about how much you loved the episode. If you are listening on any other podcast platform, if you are able to, please subscribe on that platform. And also, what would really help me is if you would leave a review on whatever podcast platform you are listening on. The reviews help the podcast to be more seen and to spread the word to other Michael Jackson fans about the podcast. And as always, I am looking for guests to be on the podcast. So if you would like to be a guest on this podcast and tell your Michael Jackson story, I would absolutely love to chat with you. Make sure to check out the show notes and find the link to click on to schedule a coffee chat with me, or you can email me. The email address is also in the show notes. Thank you again for listening and or watching It's All for Love. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the It's All for Love podcast. I'm Cheryl Mazza, the healing dancer, your host. And today we have Paul Altman Jr. His stage name is Big Buck, and he is from Lakeland, Florida. Paul's an up-and-coming independent artist, hip-hop producer. He hosts a podcast called The Paul Altman Show, and it has 35 episodes and counting, with 2 new interviews in the works. Paul started making music professionally in 2017 and tries to make music when he gets a chance. His notable guests on the podcast include TJ Jackson, Billy Lennox, Travis Payne, Shauna Mongatol, Michael Trapson, and more. He does a YouTube channel also with his frequent collaborator, Ram the Man. So welcome, Paul. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast and to talk
Thank you so
about.
much. Thank
Yeah,
you for having me.
you're so welcome. So let's get right into it. I want to know when you first discovered, or when Michael first discovered you, as I like to say.
Um, yes, that's a good question. I was about 7 years old. It started out like through as far as my earliest recollection I can recall, the first 7 years of my life. At the time, didn't really know who Michael was because I was so young, and my dad was watching TV one day, trying to watch a football game, and I guess either a commercial or like a little change in the channel when it stumbled and landed on a channel. I don't recall which channel it was, but sure enough, there was Michael performing to Billie Jean on the 30th anniversary concert celebration of his life. And after he didn't really change the channel right away, and I looked at Michael, I saw uh, him doing the moonwalk, and I was just enamored with all that, especially for someone who was in their 40s at that time, still able to do so much of those dance moves at that time. And I thought it was something really beautiful. I thought it was magic, and I didn't really notice back then, but as I go older and start doing, dance like him, trying to learn so much like him, in the sense of like how I wanted to do certain dance moves, and what how he did it was really effective motion, and really perseverance. And I was like, wow. And so right then and there, after he did the moonwalk, he did a couple of spins and landed on his toes. I thought that was something that really intrigued me. And as I got older, I when I essentially do those same steps, it's really effective in that way.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So you first saw him at the 30th anniversary, and that's when he captivated you with his moonwalk. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. That's so awesome. So
Yeah.
how has he inspired you throughout your life since then?
Um, Even though I will say this is that every now and then, because like mostly like I said, I was too young to really know who Michael was, and
Hmm.
e even though that the first couple years after that, it wasn't really effective as it was because small little things, it's like all in that moment and it'll come past. But when that's but it came back and it inspired me more after he passed away, which is unfortunate. When he passed on into the spiritual realm, it, it triggered a whole lot, and then it bring back memories to when I first saw him do the dance moves, and even though I was really sad that he was gone, but I also thank him for inspiring me to really do better. And as I got older, I did more research on Michael um, on my own before the podcast and everything. I knew that he used his platform for for his main purpose, which was humanitarian activism and stuff, and his activism for the children and all of the world. And it really ignited me to do my own humanitarian efforts as well with my own associations with the Best Buddies Club, which is the Best Buddies International.
Mm.
And that group and the organization, if some people in your viewers don't know what that is or what that organization is that it's an organization. It brings people together, people with intellectual disabilities and people who doesn't come together as unite, be friends, and help establish connections and stuff like that. And I think that Michael also played an impact on that as well.
So Best Buddies, is that like an in-person type thing where you go and like hang out and meet
Yeah,
people?
yeah,
Yeah. That's cool.
absolutely.
I love that. I have to look into that as well. I think that's an amazing thing. So he inspired you to start being a part of the Best Buddies program.
Yes, absolutely.
Very nice. Anything else that he inspired you to do as far as humanitarian work?
Um, well, he inspired me to do music, particularly in hip hop, as well. Mostly music of all genres, and because like I grew up on music because my mom was a street dancer in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
My dad played the guitar in high school, and basically that also impacts on me more so than anything else. And I do have an uncle by marriage, who is a DJ
Hmm.
and is really really well liked. Um, his name is DJ Genesis, and I'm really proud of my uncle for his own accomplishment, and that says a lot. And although like I wasn't really around during those times, but I also looked in other music and for music, inspiration. But Michael has been the number one inspiration through music,
Right.
and yeah, it's pretty much that. And obviously, the dancing can also may come from my mother, but Michael was the one that inspired me to do dancing. So when I was about 14 years old, I entered like school talent shows, um, school events and best buddies events where I would do Michael's signature dance moves and stuff like that. And that's pretty much how that inspiration goes. And especially Michael was the inspiration for the podcast as well. And yeah, that's pretty sums it up.
Awesome. So your podcast, The Paul Altman Show, is that about all about Michael Jackson, or do you do other types of topics?
You asked that good question. It started off as a commentary, my personal commentary and personal opinions about this little. I wouldn't say documentary, but I would say a mockumentary, as I stated in one of my interviews, about leaving Neverland. And it was originally supposed to be a ten episode podcast, but it evolved over time. It basically over 35 episodes and counting, where I interview like from emerging artists like myself to people that as well, A-list, stuff like that. And I'm very proud of that. And of course, my family never knew that until like last year or stuff like that. And I actually kept that to myself because it's kind of like my one of my other hobbies, but it grew, it grew, it became part of you in a sense
Right.
of like, like it was your second child or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I,
Wow.
so I embraced it in some way.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, yeah, your podcast is like an extension of your passions too, you know, and
Yes,
and it's something that you look forward, to doing.
yes,
I know I do. I mean, I very much look forward to doing these episodes with everybody for me because I get to talk about my favorite person, Michael Jackson, and meet people all over the world. So,
right. And I will say this, that sometimes I wouldn't be about Michael. It would have been other music acts, or just plainly about new stuff that is coming out and stuff like that, and other topics. But most importantly, it has been about Michael and doing interviews with other people.
nice.
And this latest episode that I did was with two tribute artists, named Dylan Knight, who's the singing Michael, and the other one is Michael Den, another Michael Jackson tribute artist, which they both know each other, mutual friends, and they also do a show called Michael in the Mirror, and they
Mm,
do have a show coming up next year and stuff
really?
like that. Yes, absolutely.
Do they travel with that?
They are. I asked them about that, and they're planning on bringing the show to the East Coast and stuff like that. And I thought it was really a good idea to really bring more people to really watch the show. And people love the show, as far as I'm aware.
Of course, it's Michael Jackson.
Yes,
That's how I look at it. Awesome. Well, let's talk about some of your guests that you've had on your podcast. Like what it was like, talking to them. Anything you want to tell me about it? Like,
of course. Um, one of the very few people that had as a guest on my show. Um, and one of them, I will say that I was even shocked that I even have him on the show. Which was TJ Jackson,
yeah,
Michael's nephew. Which I was surprised that he was willing to appear on my podcast.
that's awesome.
And I was sitting here thinking one day, I reached out to him one day and through Instagram one day, and I wasn't like, oh, I want to have someone out there and try to get these views. No, and this was something that I was really, curious about. Not only just curiosity, but also like I wanted to know their story, and I wanted to know to get their perspective on certain things and whatnot. And one day I got a message from him and said that, of course, you know, I would love it. I would love to do that. Schedule a day, whatever. Which I was floored. And
Wow.
when the day of the actual interview itself, I was really excited. I couldn't really sleep that night. I was like dancing around the house, around my house. I was like, gosh, this TJ,
Yeah.
that, that's the fam. And after that, it got more hap even way before the actual interview had started. We had like our own little conversation privately, and I was able to ask him what privately, well, about certain things that happened, and one person, the one thing that really intrigued more than anything was was the fact that I asked them about their song, which is ironically when I say this, it's called Anything, 3T with his brothers, and he was forthcoming with that, and he was saying that they started singing the song when they're making that album Brotherhood when his mother was gone, had passed away horribly, which I'm still sad about it for him
Mm.
and stuff like that. And when the interview started, at first, like the first part of the interview went going absolutely good, and then I guess for some reason the connection dropped.
Mm.
I was like, oh boy, I gotta restart the interview.
Yeah.
I hope I don't have to restart the interview. And then I guess I hit the record again. Where I was able to really salvage what I have in the interview after all of that, and I was able to ask him again about his favorite song or video that his uncle Michael did, and he told me, "Remember the time,"
Mm.
and I was like, "What?" I was sitting here thinking on the phone. I was like, "Remember the time?" I thought it would be Billie Jean. I thought it would be I thought it would be Heal the World. But when he said "Remember the time," that really floored me because that was something that I never really thought of him would say.
Hmm.
It was the most impressive things to do. And that point on, everything was really good in that interview, and he essentially became a fan of mine
Nice.
to a certain degree. And that was that for TJ. And this other guest I had, who essentially became like a brother to me in the sense of that, Travis Payne. Travis Payne, um, I, same way, but it was also different as well because I ended up calling him myself, reaching out to him by myself through phone call,
Wow,
and
really?
I sent him the episodes and stuff like that, and he said he was willing to do it. And after that, after all the said is done, and after all that interview, which that one itself was like almost about an hour and a half interview, I think that I ever done. And during this interview, I was able to get this autograph with Travis that he gave to me. And this one it says, "For Paul, love Travis Payne." And this is the This Is It CD. And I
Wow.
also kept it as a souvenir because
Yeah.
there's so much love that come into it. And just last Friday, he reached out to me and wished me happy birthday, in which I am very happy to really receive the
Wow.
message.
That's amazing. Did he send
Yeah,
that to you? The This Is It autograph?
yes,
That's amazing. That's amazing. He seems like such a great person. I mean, I have never talked to him personally, I just follow him
right.
on social media.
And I was telling him that I was doing this interview, and he said that he hopes that this will be fun.
Yeah.
And so, uh, probably after this, he'll probably watch this.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I could have him on the podcast sometime. So
Right.
I would love to have more people on the podcast that actually knew Michael Jackson, to talk about how he was as a person, as a human being, you know, in person.
Right.
So,
And I will say this with two more guests to add on, and then we can go on to the next question.
mhm,
With Shauna Magatal, she was really nice on there on the show. Really nice person, really well put together, and told me stories that I probably never heard before. And I think that when people will listen to the interview, I think the interview will speak itself in some sort, and it it's I think it will be a forthcoming when they hear it from
mm,
her perspectively, especially about her time with Michael.
mm,
Yeah, and the lastly I wanted to talk about is Michael Trapson, who is like another people that I consider, friend, people within the community who is very interesting to me. He is very really gifted, and I can't really say it enough because during his early stages as his tribute to Michael as Michael Trapson, he used to go by another name by OG Connell, which is another hip hop name,
mhm.
which he's been making music for a long time. And this one, he went viral for if Michael Jackson made trap music, and I
Wow.
thought it was the most hilarious things I ever saw,
Yeah.
and and I told him so, and he's like, yeah, yeah, and so I said that was interesting. So we chopped it up on that, which you have saw the interview.
Yes.
I hope that people will watch the interviews going forward after this one.
Yeah. I hope so too. I will definitely put the information in the show notes so people can find your podcast for sure. Well, tell me
Uh,
about the Jacksons. Did you meet them?
yes, I did. Yes, I did. I met Tito, Jackie, and Marlon at the Hard Rock Casino back in February 21st, 22nd of 2022.
Hmm.
Um, they were very nice. They were very nice and very humble people that I've ever met. Um, my first and last time I ever met Tito. Um, rest in peace to Tito.
Yeah.
Which I was also in the same building as another friend of mine who's also related to them, Jay Hostile Jackson,
Mm.
um, which another a friend of mine I consider a friend of mine. Um, he was telling me, like, hey, you should probably get up there and break it down sometime, man. I was like, I don't know, man. I ain't trying to steal nobody's shine. I ain't, I ain't trying to showboat. I ain't trying to do nothing like that. Um, but nah, but on some seriousness though, I went to one of their shows in Florida at the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel, and I was having a good time throughout the whole show. I watched from A to Z, but towards the end of the show, because I took a friend of mine with me, and I looked at my friend. And I was like, "Hey, let's go down to the front," because like we were sitting up. Let's just say up there is like a little top seat, right? Um, but we're sitting up here, and they were down here, right?
Hmm.
And I looked at my friend. And I was like, let's go down to the front. You think nobody will stop us? He's like, what are you waiting for? Let's go. So we did. We went all the way to the front. No one thought to stop us. No one thought to stop us. They just turned the blind eye for a second. And so we went to the front. I saw the performance up. up and close, like in my almost in my face almost. And they're like bringing it down to shake your body. And towards that, after that part of the show, and then towards the end, they ended the show with "Want to Be Started Something," and Tito was playing on the guitar. I never forget this. I looked up to Tito. I said, "Hey, Tito, look at that, Tito!" And Tito looked at me. He could have sworn he thought that was someone else said it. He we both locked eyes. He's like, it continued playing. I was like, he recognized me.
That's so cool.
And after the show, everybody, after the whole thing calmed down, and when the lights turned back on, and you know, I don't know, chat with the other fans, and the other fans walked up to me and be like, "Hey, you dressed like you got that Michael gear on. Can we take a picture?" I was like, "Sure, sure, of course." And we went to a group photo, took pictures, and they told me about their favorite Michael Jackson memory, which I thought that was the most beautiful thing because I love hearing stories like that, and
Yeah,
it brings a smile to everyone's faces, including my own. I was
right.
like, I was like, so what's your favorite Michael memory? They say, oh, they remember going to see Michael in Wembley or Kansas City. I was like, wow, that is amazing. I love hearing that. And after that, I remember going in front of the line to meet to do photo op, the meet and greets, and I also ended up meeting people that were in their band named Brendan Brown, aka Pastor Funk, the bass player. Really talented young man who also perform. Who right now he's on tour with Jennifer Lopez at the moment.
Mhm.
Um, Took a photo op as well with him and calling each other brother,
Yeah.
and also meeting the keyboard player. I don't really remember his name, but it was enough to really to really have a good conversation with him in terms of that and tell me how he loved my outfit. They asked me if I could break it down some one time. I was like, man, this must have been my lucky day or something. And yeah, and after that, I went forward a little bit, and we were waiting in line. Me and my friend of mine that I took with the show, we were sitting, we were standing there waiting for them, and I was one of the few people that was first in line, and there was just two other people that were in front of me. They took pictures. After that, after that, we shook hands and said, "Hey, this is gonna be fun." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's just meeting the Jacksons. What are you talking about?" But I could hear the background. I could. This is a part that I never really said publicly. Is that I hear their voices, Jackie, Tito, and Marlon's voices, and they were approaching, and I knew it. I looked at my friend. I was like, "They're coming. They're heading this way." He's like, "How would you know that? How in the heck do you know that?" I'm like, "Don't believe me? Watch." As soon as after I said that sentence, finish that sentence, here they are. They're walking in front of me. They stopped in front of me. One of them even, I think Tito was the only one that took off his sunglasses, and Jackie and Marlon were the only people that really left their sunglasses on. But Marlon had his face mask on, so I didn't really see him right at that moment, but I recognized him. And then when he took off a little bit, I got closer after this person took their photo with them and they moved on. As soon as after that, they looked straight at me. was like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on, Jackie?" They're like, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing?" I was like, "How you doing? How you doing?" And I said, "Marlon, how you doing, Marlon?" He goes, "I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you." I was like, because I was so actively focused, I didn't really see Tito behind me. I was like, "Where's Tito? Where's Tito? Where's Tito?" And Jackie's like, "He's right there." I turned around. I was like, "Oh my God." In my head, I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, he saved me." But I was just shook his hand, and I believe I still have that picture. I still have that picture of him in my hand, locking our hands together as in shaking their hands, and my eyes are looking at him, and he was looking at me. I was like, and that picture alone, um, is the one that I actually kept to my heart dearly, because I was so shocked that he was even real at all. And so, yeah, even think about it now, it also brings me happiness, but also brings me sadness that that was the first now and only time that I ever met Tito. I was trying, I know that last year that they were down in Florida last year, and I was trying to meet up with them again, but
Mm,
I had my grandfather, who was a Marine, U.S. Marine veteran now, and he has dementia, so he was mowing around with an uncle of mine. So I couldn't really meet up with them then, but
mm,
little did I know that that would be the first and last time that I ever saw Tito.
yeah.
So, and I was also going through a lot of pain that after that Tito's last concert. But before that, though, it was really difficult. And when I found out that Tito himself had passed away, I remember waking up. I my phone was going off. I looked at my phone. And all it said was R.I.P. Tito. I was like, someone must be pranking me. Someone has been pranking me.
Yeah.
And it was somebody better not be pranking me. But sure enough, my mom was like, my mom kept calling my name. She kept saying, "I'm sorry for your loss, Polly." I was because that's the family name, of course.
Hmm.
Um, I was like, "What are you talking about? Is someone trying to make me mad or something?" At 7 o'clock in the morning for this.
Mm,
But when I saw that statement that his children wrote, I knew that it was real.
yeah.
It broke my heart. I remember crying the whole day, and I still feel that way because he was like everybody. He was like our own uncles. You know, he was everybody's Uncle Tito
Mm,
in that essential way. And I'll always remember Tito from my own interaction with Tito. So I'll continue to cherish that memory for the rest of my life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful. What an amazing moment for you to meet all three of them, That is
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah. I'm happy for you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Um, and then also, I will say that one of the things that I had a conversation with Tito with them during that time was that I told them I looked in their eyes and I said that I want to thank you for helping me overcome my autism. And of course, they brought smiles to their faces because like that's the most beautiful thing that I have ever said to them, and they really appreciate it. And that's the thing that I'll always remember for the rest of my life going forward. I will say that during that point, it was just now that I think about it now, it's just it still feels the same way, but it also takes a deeper another meaning.
Hmm. Well, thank you for sharing all of that with me.
You're welcome.
All of us listening. Yeah. Oh, amazing. I love all of that. Just amazing moments for you. It's It's great. Do you do you have a favorite Michael Jackson song?
Wow, that's a tough question because every song that Michael ever recorded in life that it's I can't really explain it because like Michael has the most beautiful voice that I've ever heard. Kind of sounds like another from another world.
Yeah.
Uh, and he has a countless songs that it still goes beyond my 10 fingers.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to really keep count, especially certain songs that's still being unreleased and lost. And but some people know how to leak stuff.
Hmm.
It's just really not only like shocking and amazement, but also kind of disturbing in a sense. And when I say it like that, because people, without permission,
Yeah.
leaking stuff out. But I also, because hearing Michael sing is just so beautiful.
Hmm.
And but if I were to pick a song, my favorite song, because again, Michael has a lot of songs that are beautiful and really a lot countless songs that people know and people dance to and the choreography and the songs and the melodies that that pops out that people would know
Right.
instinctively. But if I were to pick a song, I would say On the Line,
Okay.
because that's the song. Not people don't really know about the song, but I will say that On That Line is like really instrumental for me. Is that it's basically how he starts with smooth and tender, and then when it reaches up to a certain line and it gets that rough, it gets rough it allows brings people to really hear.
Hmm.
And my other favorite song that he ever did was "Man in the Mirror," and it's my mother's favorite song as well. So, um, and my mother will always say that's my favorite song. I would say, but my number one song to dance to, if you were to ask me that in that kind of question, I would say "The Way You Make Me Feel" because it's the first song, one of the many first songs that I danced to in high school, where people recognized the song. And I was in the 10th grade when I danced in high school to that song. People recognized it. It was really so that's also a soundtrack to my life, if you want to put it that. Yeah, even think about it now, and it's bringing that nostalgia a little
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I love The Way You Make Me Feel. That's my favorite Michael Jackson song.
bit.
What do you want the world to know about Michael Jackson?
Based from my own research, based from the people I've talked to, I made my own conclusions about Michael, but I will say that with full is the full absurdity of who Michael the person was, because there are two Michaels in this whole thing. There's Michael Jackson, the king of pop, but there's also Michael the person.
Hmm.
Michael was in a sense of of yes, one of the most, if not one of the most, but Michael will be the greatest entertainer of the world that it made the biggest impact of our lives that inspired future artists like Chris Brown, Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, and every other artist that they can think of will be because of Michael Jackson. But there is also Michael the person, the father, the uncle, the brother, the son, and the friend
Hmm.
that that he would hear would try to talk to anyone about anything that whatever in the world, what's going on, Michael will listen. And I would say that based from that and based from my own conversations with people that knew Michael, that he was a lovable person and very selfless person. And I know that when people outside of the fandom, outside of the stratosphere of the MJ community, people go, well, he was a little weird. It's not it's I think that because of my own similarities to Michael in some ways, because I do have a brother and a sister, um, but I able from my own childhood, and I think I mean, me and Michael never had the same childhood, but I will say that because of my own similarities, people of just wanting to be loved,
Mm. Hmm.
always be appreciated, is that love is eversley. But I think that yes, he was crowned the king of pop, but he earned it through hard work and dedication. And the music was a tool to really to use how a tool it how you use a tool like to help other people that if they were down, you lift them back up. If you want to dance, you can dance.
Hmm.
And so and also try to at least try to love one another as we can, because we could only live once. I believe that. And while we still living and stuff like that, we always would try to love one another and treat each other like you want to be treated. Like
Right.
you want to be treated as a person. You'll be treated as a person. And so that's my outlook of how Michael would be remembered. That he wanted to be remembered for being wanted to be loved by the world. And I think that it's both a blessing and sometimes it could be a little bit. I'm trying to find the right words because when it comes to Michael, I don't think that he was ever appreciated enough.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I
Oh,
do
that-
believe that Michael should
yeah.
be appreciated enough.
Yeah. He was very much unfairly treated by the world,
Of course.
and a lot of people didn't appreciate him for who he is, who he was. So, but us fans, we do.
Of
We know
course.
the real him, even though we might not have ever met him. We know his heart.
Yes, of
So,
course.
and what a gift it was that he shared that with the world. Was there anything else that you would like to talk about?
Maybe three things, but I will say that I do appreciate Michael and his family, especially the people around me, because 2 years ago, on August 2nd, 2023, I I ended up there was an accident that happened to me, receiving second-degree burns, and I ended up being in a coma for 48 hours,
Oh, wow.
um, which I thought that I was dead. I was dead. And one of the main things that kept me alive was Michael's music, kept me going. And I thought that I didn't want to live anymore. I thought I was gone because during that time I lost my grandmother
Mm,
2 months prior, and I was not in the right headspace, and I just wanted to hide away. But if it wasn't for Michael's music, and the people around me, I don't think I would be here.
wow.
Yeah, and I think that that's an understatement because like sometimes that we take a lot of things for granted.
Mm,
We we take we take advantage of people's happiness and that, and not try to see the oversight. But I think that because we don't see the values and the family values that we have, um, we tend to forget the smallest little things in life and always go the extra mile. But we should appreciate what we do have at the moment. We should really love each other and love our families, love our friends, love everybody that appreciate us for who we are
Hmm.
before all that's gone, because you never know when you wake up and it's all disappeared like magic, but
Wow.
not the good magic at all. And
Right.
yeah, I so yeah, after so many times, you tend to forget that. And so now, because I'm in the age where I can understand now versus when I was a kid versus when I was growing up. I will say that now, because I do have family that loves me tremendously, even though we're not really talking right now. But I will say that if my family were to discover this episode or this interview, I would say that I would love my family with all my heart. Yeah, and always try to treat each other the way that we always wanted to be treated, which is love.
Mm.
So, have you ever felt down and stuff like that, feel like the whole world is nothing, felt lost forever? Don't feel like there's nothing else to live for. If you wanted to talk to somebody, reach out to a family friend, your friends, family, even someone that is willing to give their full undivided attention. I say that from coming from a place where it's like it's not always black and white
Mm.
or something colorful, but I will say that because I do have somebody in my life that felt like that, and I also wanted to say that to really give advice, someone that felt the same way uh, as this such person. And one of my music I do, sometimes I do ask my question. I do have my own so many questions I have in life. I put into music,
Mm.
either through instrumentals or sometimes with other artists or sometimes with my own solo works. It speaks more volumes in itself. Let's get to. I do have another thing to talk about. Good, something good, something
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Um, I do have another EP. I have an album coming out, but it will not be for some time. But it's called Paul the Altman. It's an R&B hip hop infused, maybe a little bit country here and there. Something brand new, something that people never heard before through a lens that's through my eyes. Like love, regaining control, um, motivation, and it really speaks the truth through my eyes and through my lenses. And that was that. And more information about the album will be on my Instagram and YouTube and stuff. But I do have I do have a song coming out. It's called "So What Now." It will be released pretty soon. Um, pretty soon, but not just yet. I just want to wait a little bit to see how it will go. Um, through its last finishing production a little bit, but it's almost done. A little bit after review, it will be out in no time. But I will say that on my Instagram, Big Buck with the Beats, which is the music profile, it will be in the stories or in post, so people can check it out.
Nice.
Um, I do have another video collaboration with a guy named Random Man, who over the past 5 years we we started to really connect as a little friends through the Michael Jackson fandom. We even did our own re-edition of or inspiration from Captain EO called Agent Ram EO Mission Mission to Save the Future, which is a it was supposed to be a short film, but and it ended up being a full movie
Wow.
by 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 a long shot.
Yeah.
And it almost didn't come out, but after 4 years, after 3 years, the movie has been out on his channel, Ran the Man Original, which is on his channel. And
Wow.
that pretty much sums it up.
Okay. No, that's a lot of great information. Yeah, I have to get all of your social media information so we can put it out there and everyone can check you out, check out Ran the Man and all that. I mean, thank you so much, Paul,
You're welcome.
for being on the podcast and for giving us all your beautiful information.
Thank you so
Been an
much.
absolute pleasure. And yeah, it's all for love. We will see you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Bye for now.